I'm speaking to you from the Salvation Army's USA Southern Territorial Headquarters in Atlanta, Georgia. It's from here that the Salvation Army's emergency disaster responses in the region are coordinated, and I would like to give tribute to the professional and dedicated team members here, officers and soldiers, employees and volunteers. They are working tirelessly to ensure that personnel, equipment and supplies are mustered in an expedient manner to where they are most needed. While they may never meet people who they are helping, this is unmistakably vital, life-giving work. These men and women and the teams on the ground they direct are truly living out the Salvation Army's mission to meet human needs in Jesus' name without discrimination. And make no mistake, the needs are great. Yesterday, I traveled to Houston, Texas. It's the fourth most populous city in the United States, usually a powerhouse of the economy, a transport and cultural hub. But as you will know, the city was very severely affected by Hurricane Harvey. I met there with dedicated officers and soldiers, employees and volunteers who are selflessly serving others, often working incredibly long shifts to try and meet the needs of those most affected by this tragedy. I spoke to a soldier who, despite having lost everything himself, is at his core every day serving the people in his local community. I heard of an officer's son who took out his boat to go and rescue people who were stranded. On his own, he rescued 40 people. Advisory board members are providing hands-on practical support, as well as utilizing their business and strategic expertise to help manage this incident. I heard of a corps where 60 people walked through floodwaters to attend the prayer meeting. I talked to families in a trailer park who were receiving food parcels and cleaning supplies, and others being housed in one of our facilities. I met the behind-the-scenes team in incident control room, as well as the frontline people distributing supplies. I was struck by the enormity of the task, but I'm reminded that we have an even bigger God. My heart was moved to see street after street where people's ruined possessions were simply piled up on the sidewalk, and they have been left with just the shell of a house. I was encouraged to see the structures and systems in place that enable the Salvation Army to provide a swift response, mobilizing our people and resources to enable us to provide practical support to real people in real communities. My visit here has enabled me to see the practical expression of our faith, to witness the outworking of our sacred covenants, to see what practical social holiness looks like in reality. Witnessing the dedication of our people here reinforces that truth, that the Salvation Army needs to be the church on the street. We need to be with the people in the mess and vulnerability of life. There is a place in our world for the Salvation Army, and we still have a mission to fulfill. At the same time, I was being informed of the effects of the next of the season's devastating storms as Hurricane Irma ravaged through the Caribbean islands. Again, I was moved by the news that the Salvation Army's officers on St. Martin, even though their own accommodation had incurred storm damage, were serving their battered community by offering shelter. And as the Prime Minister of Barbuda declared his island nation barely habitable, I was touched that Salvationists on the neighboring island of Antigua were welcoming evacuees and providing them with meals. Sadly, there are other areas of the world that are also experiencing unprecedented challenges. The Chief of the Staff vividly described to me the muddy, the murky and bacterial-laced floodwaters that he encountered during his recent visit to India. Swathes of South Asia are underwater, and again the Salvation Army is responding with compassion and with practical assistance. So many people have lost all their material possessions. The scale of the dilemma at times seems beyond human understanding. So what can we do? What can you do? We're compelled by Jesus' love to give our all. Half measures are simply insufficient. Friends, firstly, we must pray. Not just pithy soundbite prayers or a disengaged amen. We must intercede from the depths of our heart. We must, as St. Paul says, pray continually. As the floodwaters subside, our prayers should not. Secondly, we must mobilize. The precise nature of the response will differ from town to town and city to city. It will be informed by local needs and the relationships that we build. But we must follow Jesus' example and strive to serve those we come into contact with. We can offer practical help, but we can also share the precious gift of a God who offers to shelter us under his wing. And thirdly, we must give generously and freely. Remember the Lord's words to the rich young ruler? In the US, you can give by phoning 1-800-SAL-ARMY or online at helpsalvationarmy.org. Elsewhere, visit salvationarmy.org to donate to our emergency appeals for the Americas and Caribbean or South Asia. Thank you, and God bless you.